So we believe that testimony is powerful, that story is important, that reminding ourselves of who God is and what he has done is so important. And actually, as we move our hearts into worship this morning, I wanted to share with you a testimony and a story of what God is doing in my life. This coming Sunday is Orphan Sunday. Orphan Sunday happens every year. And on Orphan Sunday, churches around the world focus on God's heart for the fatherless and for the orphan, and they talk about the importance of adoption. And if you know me, you know that my wife Lindsay and I, this is a topic that we're very passionate about. We've adopted one little girl out of foster care. Her name is Diamond, and she is 2 years old, and she fully acts like a 2-year-old right now, and it's great. But we love her, and actually just a month ago, we were matched for our next adoption. We were matched with a birth mom down in Florida who's going to be having a baby girl right around Christmas time. And part of the deal with this is that we had to go down to Florida to meet her face-to-face. She wanted to meet with us. So a couple weekends ago, Lindsay and I headed down to Florida for 4 days. It was really tough. Somebody has to suffer for Jesus in Florida in November, I know. We went a little early, so we were relaxing on the first day, and we were walking to a coffee shop. And Lindsay and I, we have had names picked out for our kids since pretty much like the day we got engaged. Like, all right, let's make this thing official. Now on to the important stuff. What are our kids going to be named? And so for this particular baby girl, we've had it narrowed down to 2 names for a while. And as we're walking to the coffee shop, Lindsay says, "Josh, I thought of a new name." And I said, "No, like doors closed, that's it. It's this or this. There are no other options." She said, "No, just hear me out." So she tells me the name. And I actually kind of like it. So I said, all right, we'll add it to the list. We've got this, and then we've got this new option, but I'll consider it. So fast forward 24 hours, we're sitting in the corner booth of a Denny's restaurant, and across from us sits this woman that we just met, who's obviously with child, and she has promised to give us her baby to raise as our own when she's born. This is not a normal situation. It's awkward, we're nervous and anxious, she's nervous and anxious, and so we're fighting through the awkwardness. And the topic of names comes up, and she said, "Yeah, I saw your daughter's name is Diamond. That's really unique. How'd she get that name?" And we said, "Well, actually her birth mom gave it to her, and we liked it. So when we adopted her, we kept it." And she gets a little sheepish, and she says, "Well, actually, I don't know how this works, but I picked out a name for the baby already." And outwardly, we kept it cool, but inwardly, I was like, "No! Like, we've decided this. We have it. We're good." But kept my cool. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Tell us what the name is. And she told us the name, and in that moment, a peace that passes all understanding washed over me, and all the nervousness and anxiousness flew away. And tears started to roll down my face, and Lindsay started crying. And I looked at her and I said, "You're not going to believe this, but that is the exact name that we talked about yesterday. I believe that God has chosen the name for this baby girl, and that's going to be her name." And tears started to roll down her face, and she's not a Christian, but she turned to the worker and said, "You told me that God works in mysterious ways, and you told me that God has a plan for this baby's life, and I guess I have to believe it now, don't I?" Brothers and sisters, this is the God that we serve, that before we were even born, when we were being knit together in our mother's womb, he knew us, he called us by name, and he loved us, and he had a plan for us. This is a God who cares for the orphan and the fatherless, and he's close to the brokenhearted, and he cares for you. This is the God we serve. This is the God we worship. Would you please stand and sing with us this morning?